Part of West Ham's history and part of the club.
Yeah, totally, man. And you're right. And obviously,
Consider the inconsistency in team selection still.
Can I just say, not only that, you've got with
My name's Jake, not Jane, has got a school. Actually, Jake.
You could pass for a
Actually,
Jane.
I haven't.
Definitely could pass for a Jane.
Oh, no.
Remember, we're all doing that in front of him. We're all buying. And he was out.
There is three of us this evening. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. Speechless, literally speechless. I think I'm getting speechless every single bloody week. It's been a few hours since we have walked away from Villa Park victorious 4-1 winners. Lucky boy, how you feeling, my man?
I'm feeling good. I've been hungover today. I went out last night, and it's the perfect thing to cure the hangover. You know,
Yeah,
so it's always
it
nice
certainly is,
when away
mate.
from home, and in that way as well.
In that style, mate. In that style, Matt. Of course, you've had time to compute it as well. You absolutely buzzing, mate. Buzzing.
I said at the end of I think the watch along with the review, like when do we, like I'm still not out of that. Like we're on 20 points after 10 games, and I still haven't got out of that. Oh, we're halfway to 40. I said it's not halfway to 40 now, is it? It's like we're a third of the way to 60. Moyes has just transformed the mentality. We were saying before we come on, the mentality of the club. Like we don't get rolled over anymore. We go and put hard performances in. We don't always necessarily play well, but we get stuck in. We always make sure we run the hard yards. And then today, you've seen the entire difference where everything pretty much does click. We've put 4 goals in.
Yeah.
Fourth in the table, 3-point cushion.
The thing is, and I know we're doing the player ratings as well, so make sure you do engage in the poll that goes live on YouTube. We will go through that and ask the lads for their player ratings. But the thing is, what I want to say before we do go on is taking every player into consideration in this current squad, whether, you know, if you give them a lower rating, right now, for me, when the team is winning, it's winning as a team. And most players, if one's not creative, who we expect to be creative, it's not because they've not worked really, really hard in that game to support the team. So it's that kind of vibe right now. It's that vibe with West Ham. It's absolutely ridiculous and mental, and I love it. I love and loving every single minute of it. And lads, I'm going to say the comment: it could be the best team I've seen in my lifetime. Matt, you said the same.
It definitely is for mine.
Yeah.
Like I said, Payet era was the closest thing, but it seems to be a whole team. So yeah,
that was like a one-man team. I don't say it was a one-man team, but it was one man that was like pulling the rest of the team along for that one season.
that's it.
Whereas this is 18 months now of just everyone turning up.
Ridiculousness. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is. Anyway,
It was,
it's
yeah.
time to move on. Let's get involved and start rating the team. So let's move into the goalkeeper. Fabianski came back in after the League Cup performance from Areola. So let's go and rate Fabianski. Come on then, Matt, over to you first.
I've given him an 8 purely for that save in the second half from that header.
Quality save, wasn't it?
That was one of the turning points in the game. I think was that just before we went down the other end and they had a man sent off. But I said at the time, I thought we hit the crossbar. I thought Watkins just won that header, put it against the crossbar, and then when they showed the replay from behind Watkins, and it was actually it was fingertips from Fabianski onto the crossbar.
Yeah.
That alone, I don't want to say that because I think I said before the game that we no longer fear about conceding the goal because we'll get chances and probably get one ourselves. But 2-1 at the time, you know what? It could have turned the game. That header, he should have scored, but it was a phenomenal save.
Yeah,
And he didn't have much else to do apart from that. He was unlucky not to save the goal they scored. Got a touch on it, couldn't keep it out. But apart from that, he didn't have much to do apart from that. But that save alone, I've given him an 8 just because that potentially changed the game.
What do you think, Matt? What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I think he was. He could have kind of done better for the goal that we conceded. But then again, at the same time, he was let down by the defence. Because that's in all the defending we've done lately in the games, that's the worst defending, and it's cost us. So that's fair enough. We needed to wake up, and we did. But he redeemed himself with that save in the second half onto the post. That was world class. It wasn't Ramsdale class, but it was definitely a class save as it was. Saying that, I think that Martinez, I think he's a bit overrated. Personally, I've had this chat yesterday with a few people. I think we had the better goalkeeper. I know everyone rates Martinez really highly, and I've got nothing against him personally, but I think, people was calling for Areola to go and goal after his heroics on Wednesday night, and that's fair enough. But Fabianski for me is still a decent keeper, and I think he could have done better for the Watkins goal, but he redeemed himself, and fair play to him. I think but we give him ratings. We give him number ratings, or we give him
Go on then. Go on.
I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8.
You give him an 8 as well. You agree with Matt. Let's go into the chat and see what everyone is saying about Fabianski. Pat Chambers saying great save at 2-1. Alphonse stops their goal. Lawrence Watkins gives him an 8. David Trullock gives him a 6. Fabianski a 7. Father Snowman gives him a 7. Paul Chambers gives him a 7. Lawrence gives him an 8. So many comments. I'm going to have to skip some because we'll be here all bloody night if we go through them all. Sam a 7. Howard Ailes is an 8. Vinny's given him an 8. Did all that he was asked of him. He still had, still think Areola is marginally better. There was a couple of errors in Fabianski's game tonight. One in particular, I think the ball was played back to him. He then kicked the ball out for an Aston Villa corner. But that save did make up for it, though.
That was, to be fair to him, that was like safety first. I mean, Ogbonna had the ball like on the edge of the 6-yard box and should have just punted it. And instead, he played it back to Fabianski, who was on his goal line getting closed down by Watkins. I was like, what is he doing? Obviously, Fabianski probably should have put it for a throw-in. But that was the corner then that he come out and punched it and cleared it to almost the halfway line. So he redeemed himself in there straight away. But
well, Matt, I mean, listen, the Day's Banter thinks that you have an agenda against Fabianski. Do you have an answer back?
I've just given him a better rating than everyone in the chat. Like,
well, let me tell you something. 51% of people have said he's a 7 in the chat. 51% of people have said he's a 7. 38% of people have given him 8. So, it's 6.5 a dozen, really, isn't it? So there you go, Matt. You've got under pressure tonight, mate. Under big pressure. Right, it's time to move on, and let's get to our left back, the one with the magic hat, Aaron Criswell. Go on, then. I'll give this one to you, Luke, first.
Well, first of all, he deserves a 10 out of 10 for that Lego, the thickest hair I've ever seen any footballer have. It doesn't move. He's a flying down.
Do you know, it's funny. I noticed that during the penalty shootout against Man City. When the camera focused in on him, I went, his hair hasn't moved a single millimetre.
What has he got in his hair? What product?
What has he got in his hair?
He does that with his hair, and he thinks his hand's going to get stuck in his hair because it's so thick.
It's going to not move again.
It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to say a 7. It's not. I would give an 8, but there wasn't really an assist from him or anything like that. I think his corners were a bit lacking tonight, maybe as well. I think he had 1 or 2 corners. But no, he played well. He's got the confidence of a solid left back where he doesn't feel like he's going to get beaten by anyone, and he can put out an assist with a brilliant cross. So for me, I would give an 8, but I think you need to do something really if you're going to get over 7. So
what do you mean, like maybe flatten that bit of hair down in that picture that he's got? Because that's the first time I've ever noticed a discrepancy in his hair.
I don't know what his barber. He must charge his barber double or something, because that seems like really hard to get through.
Right, come on then, Matt. What do you think?
I think I gave him an 8, and
you did.
I'm
going to go with Matt because this is particularly Matt's show. So, but we can see if we can persuade him and change him. That's fine.
The only thing I could think of is that he shares equal blame for the goal. Like there was some sort of cock up between him and Fornals, and they both went to the ball essentially and let I think Buendia run in behind them, and so he basically managed to easily roll Fornals. But apart from that, they had that, and they had the header saved by Fabianski, and apart from that, I can't remember really the defence struggling with anything. I don't think his delivery was probably up to standard, but you could probably argue quite fairly the 7 just because of the mix up for the goal. But I thought overall he had a really solid game. He's becoming, like Luke said, a dependable left back again. You know, under Bilic and Pellegrini, he's always like, oh no, Krez was at left back, he's going to get rinsed. And just
how many more times? How many more weeks are we going to say he's becoming the dependable left back that we're so used to? The thing is, he is the dependable. He's not becoming it. He has become again.
Yeah. He's found that form from the last season at Upton Park. He's got back to that level again, which after the injury, I don't think they would get to.
He was amazing his first 2 seasons. I haven't seen a better left back in my life. First 2 seasons were unbelievable.
Well, let me jump into the chat. I mean, I've put the comments up because there's loads of stuff we need to talk about. But I've been putting the comments up that you're giving the ratings. There's loads of 7s, there's loads of 8s. It's a tie. It is a tie in the chat. 46% of people have given him a 7, and 46% of people have given him an 8. So there you go. Cressy gets a 7 or an 8 from the chat. Some people have voted.
How does that work?
4% of people have given him a 6, and 2% of people have given him a 9.
A 6?
So that's how it works.
That's a bit harsh.
Yeah. So there you go. Cressy walks away with an 8 from Mr. Matt Flack and a 7 from Mr. Luke Bailey. Right, it's time to move on, and let's jump into the centre-back pairing. We'll start with the first wall of the centre-back, and that's Angelo Ogbonna. This one to you, Matt, first.
I've given him an 8. I think a couple of games ago, I really laid into it. I was like, oh, he had a bad game, and I can't remember what game it was. I even called for Zuma and Diop to start.
Yeah,
maybe the game before the Tottenham game. I was like, oh look, Bonner had a bad game. I think it was Brentford game. He had a bad game. I was like, oh, he needs to be dropped. And like literally ever since that game, he's just raised his levels again. Like he's gone back up to his high standards. So they conceded 1 goal, but I think Villa really had 2 clear-cut chances in the game. So the defence have to be rewarded for that, as well as the players in front of them. Like they didn't give much away and nothing. Once we got in front again in the second half, the defence never really looked. Even though when Villa had the ball, like they didn't really look threatened or bothered. They just controlled everything that come at them. So give him an 8.
Yep. What do you think then, Lukey boy?
I think he didn't do much wrong. I think I'll probably give him an 8 or a touch a 9. I mean, that brick wall is going to need a bit of replastering or re-cementing because he got knocked down a little bit today with that goal conceded. But fundamentally, for the last few games, he's been immense. But I think tonight, him and Zuma were. Maybe it's a bit like a community. This is the thing, because we conceded tonight, it changes everything. If it was another game we had a clean sheet, you'd be going, yeah, they're the best things in sliced bread, and they still are. But that bread's become a bit mouldy tonight. We need to maybe refresh it a little bit. You know what I mean?
I do agree with you. I mean, I've always been Ogbonna's biggest critic. However, I do hold my hand up when I think he performs well, and I think he has had a good performance. I think they were a little bit shaky. I think the 2 of them at the back were a little bit shaky tonight. I think their communication wasn't great, and Aston Villa did have a lot of the game as well, and they weren't coming forward and causing us a threat. And I felt like they caused us a threat personally through the middle more than they did down the wings.
I think Watkins actually, although he hasn't maybe got the physicality of Antonio, he would fit our system because he just doesn't stop running. I never saw the guy stop running. I think that's what maybe put Zuma and Ogbonna under pressure a little bit because he just kept going up and down, trying to close players down. So we didn't get Watkins, did we? We were after him, but it's a bit of a shame he didn't come in because he's a good player for them. But maybe that was why that was. Maybe caused that a little bit,
It's interesting because the chat's literally split down. I mean, I've not got the results, but I can see from the comments putting in, and it's tough because it's it's personal opinion, and I get that, but you've got to weigh up. It wasn't a massively best performance, but from the chances that Villa had, they were nullified. They absolutely were nullified, and I know what people are saying in there. McGinn could outjump Oggy tonight, but equally though, if you were to try and put blame on the goal, you could say that Zuma was the only person that wasn't marking a player. Ben Johnson was struggling to get coming in on the inside. So, you know, you got to stick up for the team where necessary.
I'll tell you one thing. McGinn didn't outjump 4 hours when he pushed him, did he? He was looking there, didn't he? Didn't outjump no one then.
He didn't. No, he didn't, mate. He didn't.
Can't stand him.
The chat has rated Augie. 63% of people have given him a 7. 21% of people have given him an 8. Do you lads? Look, you're kind of 8 going on a 9. Matt,
Yeah, eight.
You happy with that?
8 will do. Yeah.
I was sitting around a 7 to an 8, so I gave him the 8. I was like,
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Right, we've moved on from Mr. Ogbonna. Let's move on to his partner in crime in the middle of the park, Kurt Happy Zuma. Right, over to you, Luke, first.
I will say one thing. Have you actually watched him run or jog? He does look like he's carrying a knee injury. He always looks like he can't straighten his right leg properly. And it is a bit worrying, but he seems to get through games fine. It's not a problem. Yeah, he's an 8 for me. I think they're both the same thing. I think he was actually one of the one that was caught out for the Watkins goal. I think he was meant to be marking him, and he fell asleep a little bit, and that's why Watkins was let in the end. But this team is very much, don't blame one person, it's a whole team, so it's fine. The only thing I'm a bit disappointed with is I think I expected him to be creating more chances for himself to score from corners, because apparently when he played for Chelsea, he was really dangerous in the box for their corners and stuff like that. And we've seen it once, I think, against Brentford, and then we haven't seen it again. So I think I'm going to give him an 8 again. Defending wise, no problem at all. He does fine there, but I did expect more from him in the box, a bit like maybe like a Souček or a Dawson, you know, trying to get on the end of crosses and score goals. But if that's my only negative, if that's my only criticism, then it ain't very much to worry about, is it? Let's face it, that he's not scoring goals and he's being a better defender.
Yep, absolutely. Over to you, Matt.
I
mean, Troy's just giving him a 6 here. Troy's giving him a 6.
I was depressed on a Sunday.
Luke's pretty much just like stolen my sheet with all my stuff down. I was sitting between a 7 and an 8, but like you said,
taking your job, mate.
like you said, they is a team game now. We're no longer, you know, it's not Bilic or Pellegrini where people just start shoving, pointing fingers like, oh, why weren't you marking him? The team does now win together, lose together, and yeah, he should have marked him probably for that. He did get away from him, but then also you could have maybe said Rice or Souček. But apart from that, I thought, like I said, look, I've got the stats in front of me. They only had 3 shots on target in the game.
It does make you laugh, right? That this will prove out of anything. If you're a Arsenal fan, what are West Ham fans like? You will always say there was a certain amount of negativity. We've beaten Aston Villa tonight 4-1 away, and the defenders are getting the 6s and maybe 5 and 7.
Yeah, they are getting quite low, but to be fair
enough. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
Look, they only had 9 shots in the game. They only had 3 on target. So something was done right.
Yeah.
They weren't getting the chances. We had 21 shots in the game as the away team.
Exactly.
Yeah. 53% of people in the chat have given Zuma an 8. 35% of people have given him a 7. So there you go. Most of the people that do agree with you, lads, and have given Kurt Happy Zuma a little cheeky number 8. Right, it's time to move on to another Academy product, and that is Ben Johnson. Right, I'll give. Who's going to go to first last time?
Luke look like he wants to go. Go on. Well, there you go.
I'll just. Yeah, fair enough. First of all, I'm going to give him a 8, mainly because of his goal. He did look a bit shaky with at times tonight. He lost the ball a couple of times on the right hand side, which is being very critical. But it could have led to something more. But he deserves a 9 for that celebration. And there must have been something. This is what I'm talking about with the camaraderie. He must have made that video years ago, because he looks like he is in a school uniform, and that obviously must have come about in a changing room, or someone said, if you score, you've got to do it, because Antonio's known for his celebrations, but that was right up there with a good one. So fair play to them. What's a goal as well, lads? I think it's underrated. What's a goal, cut in, have a shot, perfectly put. So 8 from me.
He was phenomenal. He was
getting better and better.
Matt, over to you.
I gave him a 9. Like, well, look, how many games he played in a row? That was like, this is 5 games in a row
5.
now.
Yeah.
He's conceded 1 goal. And it wasn't really his fault. He couldn't do anything about the goal.
No.
I don't think he did anything. He had a couple of shaky bits.
Do you like that noise?
It's like an old door.
You can't
an old door
mark
in a
2
cabin.
people at the same time.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. All I'm trying to do is maybe pull a little bit of the blame away from, and maybe pass the blame throughout the whole of the defence in a way, because
But
in theory they all could have committed to
yeah,
a
they
bit
all
better. But
committed to him.
apart from
And like
that,
you said, the
I
goal
mean,
was phenomenal.
yeah.
The goal
Yeah.
on his left foot as well. He's cutting on his left foot, stuck it in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
I know you
Both
think he
footed,
may
mate.
have had the
Both
best
footed.
game defensively, but out on that left-hand side, Bailey did nothing.
He had nothing, mate. Absolutely nothing.
The
And I
two
think that's
chances that they had in the game
yeah,
come from the other side.
yeah.
When Dia done Fornals, who's behind Creswell for the goal, and then the cross from that side was the side again that come and hit the crossbar. Nothing got past Johnson.
So does that mean then that Johnson had a better game than Creswell?
It does, yeah.
Not trying to nitpick and make
No,
but
that's why
players
I've
down.
given Johnson a 9. And Creswell got an 8.
Fair play.
Where are we? Let me have a look here. There's so many.
I'm also probably
comments
being
coming in.
biased because he's an academy player, so you know.
No,
probably gets,
but I
extra
think
rate for that.
I personally think he gets that as well. I mean, Pete Chapman's saying he gets a 9. Pat Mahone says he gets a 9. Crazy Cole gives him a 9. He gets an 8 from James Bong. Irish Tommy says he was
And
one
like you
of our
said,
top
the
performers
celebration adds into it as well. Definitely.
Yeah. Tommy gives him an 8. Ludders gives him an 8. Trosh gives him a 9. So loads and loads of people in there kind of agreeing with you. I'm going to see what the chat actually does say on Ben Johnson. So here we go. 61% of people agree with you and give him Ben Johnson a 9. 35% of people have given him an 8. So there
I said an 8.
you
I said 8.
go. Yeah, you did, mate. You did. You going to change your mind?
No, I'm sticking to an 8.
Stick to your
harsh,
guns,
you know.
mate.
I'm really harsh, but it's got to be done.
Right, let's move on to Mr. Capitano, Captain Declan Rice.
Go on then, Matt. You go first, mate.
Go on, Matty boy.
Well, I don't know if you've
boy.
got them stats available you had when you put up on the.
Oh,
on the,
I'm going to bring them up for you now. Don't you worry, son.
I've given him a 10.
Worry. Matt, don't you worry, son. You ready for this bad boy? Look, are you ready for this bad boy? Let me bring these up for you all.
I'm more than ready.
100% take on success, 87% pass accuracy, 78 passes, 10 passes into the final third, 8 duels won, 8 ball recoveries, 4 tackles made, 3 shots, 3 aerial duels won, 2 chances created, 2 interceptions, 1 assist, 1 goal. Declan Rice. What have you given him, Matt?
I gave him 10. I think I said in the watch along, like, you know, I have to start giving him higher than a 10 to. I have to start like break my own ratings to like give him, because he just gets better. Like every week, he seems to improve upon what I think he made one mistake in the game today, and that was like I think in the first
Very
first
early
half,
on, yeah.
He tried to switch in ball out to Johnson and got intercepted by Ashley Young or something.
Yeah,
that was like the one mistake I think he made in the game. It's just what he does, and all of a sudden, like, you know, it's only this season now that you start seeing like fans of other teams saying, "Oh, I understand why West Ham fans like him now." You know, my Twitter timeline tonight was flooded with Man City fans. Like, yeah, we need to get this guy in to replace Fernandinho because of what he does.
They can do well.
Yeah,
well, they got the money, but it can't say enough words about him.
Go on, Luke.
Yeah, right. For me, it's a 9. He would have got a 10, but that stat said 87% pass rate. It should be 100%. So he's got to learn and recover and do better next game. Okay, it's always better.
What was the other stat where you put up?
I don't care.
It was like 10
that's not
out.
the one.
He's the only player to do 10 out of 10 of this, 10 out of 10 of that, 10 out of 10.
I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the ones.
I don't know if you've still got that stat.
I do. It's coming. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, Matt. You calm down, mate. While I run around after you. Don't you worry, mate.
Yeah, it's all right. I should have written it down.
Ready?
There we go.
He's the only Premier League player this season to have the following stats: 10 plus clearances, 10 plus tackles made, 10 plus interceptions, 10 plus aerial duels won, 10 plus chances created, 10 plus take-ons completed, 10 plus touches in the opposition box. ridiculous. It is ridiculous. He's a ridiculous player.
He is English mustard. Put it that way.
Yeah.
He's English mustard.
Yeah.
He's also very sneakily changed his number, and he's taken.
I saw that.
He's taken Mark Noble's number a bit early on, but I reckon Noble's gone. No, do you know what, lad? You have it. I'm gone
You have
soon,
it.
so get used to wearing that number. But no, he was fantastic. I think you can not rely on him, but you know that he's gonna push us on when he needs to push us on. His dribbling's fantastic. The goal, I'm a season ticket holder. You know, most of us watch the games week in, week out. But when he gets near the goal, all the fans shout "shoot" all the time. And he's normally, if he does shoot, it's not a very good shot, to be fair. But today was spot on. The right technique, right in the bottom corner, exactly where you want to put it. And the assist as well. The assist was fantastic. It's an underrated assist. Just chips it away from all the opposition players, leaves them wide open. It's just
look. Have we convinced you to give him a 10?
Yeah, go on in.
Ah, go on then, son.
Go on in.
Go on then, son.
You've rumbled me.
There you go, mister. Look, this is look. There you go. Look, he's in the house. He's running around, going mental, buzzing with life.
Got grey hair and I'm Scottish.
Go on, Boise.
53% of people in the chat have given him a 9, and 33% of people have given him a 10. There is a 12% that have given him an 8. So a cheeky 12% of people watching right now have given him an 8. But you know, tight between a 9 and a 10 for Captain Declan Rice. Right. It is time to move on and talk about Mr. Potato Salad. Rate Souček. Look.
Right. To me, he played better tonight, but he's still not the old Souček. I don't know whether if he's just being given a different role, or if other players are stepping up, and he's not. You know, he's not playing badly, but he's not playing as well as he was. It's the only position right now, I think, one of the only players right now who think if there was a change, you wouldn't be that surprised. And it maybe I'm being too harsh, and if I am, I'm sure the comments would tell me. I would give him, to be honest with you, I'd give him a 6. And he's not be put in. But I think
I've had enough of that one.
We've all got opinions, lads. All got opinions.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's
no,
fine.
I think
it's going to tear it apart in a minute.
He had an average game. All right. No, he had an average game. He didn't do anything too bad. Didn't do anything too wrong either. But I'm missing the old Souček. I don't know how we're going to get him back, but I'm missing the old Souček. I'm missing the lung-busting runs into the box. You know, put into context, right? The goal he scored last year at Aston Villa, he is a shadow of that player this year. And it's really
right. I'm going. I get it, but the stuff that Declan Rice is doing this season is different to what he was doing last season. And right now, there's only 4 teams in England that have walked away after 10 points that hit the 20-point marker. West Ham's one of those teams. There's only 4 teams in the Premier League that have scored 20-plus goals in the league after 10 games, and West Ham are one of those teams. Declan Rice's stats are so phenomenal that he is, in terms of what, in comparison to last season, for example, that I actually think what's actually happened now is that the workload in defensive, and I'm not saying, and we all know what Souček was doing last year, and we all know what Declan Rice was doing last year, but Declan Rice has found this new ability to get forward.
No, I agree with that.
And also still do what he does at the back. Now, we were slating earlier in the season Tommy Souček because we felt like he had lost what you had said is va-va-voom, because, again, we were used to, I think this time last year, he'd maybe had 3 or 4 goals under the radar.
Yeah.
But his stats are still top of the running stats. He's all over the park. Do you know what? I think Tommy Souček is now doing the underrated stuff that people just don't see. But because we're so used to seeing Souček's name being so up there in lights, shining lights, that now suddenly, and I'm not digging you out in this, look, I'm not digging anyone out on it.
Wait, fair. If you are, you're on.
I think by looking at him play, we're now starting to see the Tommy, maybe the Tommy Souček that we thought we had bought, which is
Right.
not getting forward and not scoring goals and
Mm.
breaking up the play and tackling when he needs to get in and getting stuck in. For me, the guy's a warrior, and he goes unrecognised, particularly when he doesn't score goals. That's why I think I do think your rating on him is harsh tonight, but I see a lot of people kind of, mixing up between 7, 8, 9. This is the difference. This is where you show people's different opinions and how they watch the game. Some people in here have gone for a 7. Some people have gone for an 8, and some people are giving him a 9.
I'll be honest with you. It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday. I'm hungover, and I would. No, honestly, you have smashed that. You have honestly put me in my place. And you know what I'm like? I always like to come back and go no, because you've used 100% logic, and I think you're right. I think I agree with you. So I'm gonna slap myself on the wrist. I'm gonna say I'm a naughty boy, and 6 is very, very harsh. And I'll give him a 7 then, because he did. I think it was at 3-1 down. He got back and made a few decent tackles, lung busting tackles, and he got back. I think he scored actually from one of the breakaways. So maybe I am talking hit, and I should think about my role on this channel coming on. Get someone else on. I know what they're talking about.
Nah, you're fine, mate. You're fine. Right, go on, you go, Matt.
Oh, I know would be better.
See, you gave him a 6, and I at the moment I thought I was harsh because I'd been down as a 7.
Your heart fell out of your mouth when I said 6. You was like, you didn't come back up.
I thought I was being harsh, giving him a 7.
Yeah,
I was sitting between a 7 and an 8.
I've seen your rating, Matt, from another player that's coming up soon, and you've put him on par with that other player. And
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think the 7's harsh. That's why I was like, no. And like you said, he is actually doing the unnoticed dirty work that not a lot of players want to do. He is doing just the sweeping up. It's almost like he's doing the Mark Noble role at the moment.
I'm getting ready to edit, mate. You tell me. Am I editing it?
Yeah, change it, because especially with the rating coming up, I can't put them on the same one.
6.
Tommy Souček gets an 8. I think he deserves an 8, to be honest.
He said it's almost like you said, they've essentially swapped roles this season. Souček is sitting in front of the back 4 and Rice is pushing further forward. So, Rice got 2 goals last season? Like at the back end of the season? Or was it just 1 goal at the back end of the season?
Yeah, yep.
And Souček got the rest of them.
Like that.
Whereas, all right, that was Rice's first goal in the league this season.
Sorry, Gary.
But he has scored a couple in Europe already, so he's probably on like 3 or 4 goals already this season. So, yeah. He's doing the unnoticed, unpublicised dog work, but he's doing a good job of it.
I love this chat. Crazy Cole says 6 is a disgraceful scoring. Irish Tommy Souček 6. I love it.
Tommy, you are a disgrace.
Both of our defensive midfielders cannot both attack. They're alternating more. He's sitting back because Rice is going forward more. Luke, you're a hunk, mate. His name's not Luke though. His name is De Gea. I think Souček was told to sit more as we took the early leads. Crikey, Rice is forward more simple. Souček is still going forward, but he's missing headers. Paul O'Brien, agree with Anton. Souček game has been changed in order to allow Rice to become the main man. Disagree with Souček was average again, not having a great season so far. Paul saying, I agree with you, Anton. He's doing the dirty work last season. It was with his goals this season. He's a defensive midfielder, 8.5. A lot of Souček's work goes unnoticed.
Fair enough.
Look at this. Look, he's obviously had a couple of drinks on his. Stel's had a couple of drinks on his first generation Apple iPhone 1 that he uses to link up to us when we try and come on a show. It's ridiculous. Stel, you need to upgrade your phone finally once for all. If anyone wants to know, Stel can't get connected. Nothing to do with reception. It's Stelios' phone.
What Stel needs to do is message Peach and find out where he gets his Wi-Fi from. Yeah. Because I said it in another. I can't remember who else it is now. The guy he's out in what looks like the wilderness or the back of someone's garden, and he's got the perfect Wi-Fi connect. I can't believe it.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah,
we're all agreeing that Souček gets an 8. 45% of people in the chat agree. They agree he gets an 8. So 45% of people do. 41% of people gave him a 7. 7% of people gave him a 6. Luke and Tommy, you go in that corner. You go in that naughty corner. It's opinions. This
You're
is
in
what
the
it's all
cupboard.
about. You're allowed.
Harry
You're
Potter
allowed
cupboard.
to have your own opinion. That's exactly it. Well, I used to be in one. I've been promoted.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not branded now. Bigger house.
Right, come on. Let's move on to what's his name? What does he like to drink? What does he like to drink, Luke?
Estrella.
Estrella. And where's he off to, Matt?
It's off to Vienna.
Good
Oh, there
boy.
he goes. He takes his time. Right,
Yeah,
let's go
man.
and rate Pablo Fornals.
Right, I'll start. He gets a 4. Let's just start to go on.
I love my little Pablo. I
Hello,
love my
right.
little Pablo. I do.
I'll go first. Should I? Shall I
Go
go
on.
first?
Go on then.
For me, he gets a solid 9. Mainly for his push on McGinn, because I cannot stand. I cannot stand that ratty-looking, horrible oaf that plays in the midfield for Villa. You see him get up. He was all full of it, and then as soon as he got pushed, he was like, "You just pushed me. You just pushed me." You sound like you actually, Anton, when you get pushed when you're out and about. You're like, "You're pushing me. You're pushing me, mate." Yeah, no, he took his goal really well. He's come bouncing up, but his work rate is. We all know how hard he works. I think the one thing I'd like to do is get more goals. I think he deserves to get more goals for the work that he puts in. But it's not a criticism. That's just something I wish that he would do. So this is the thing. I said this ages ago. I'm being harsh on Souček, right? And I think if you were to take Souček out, the perfect replacement would be Fornals, because of the work rate would be just as much. And I think he wouldn't tackle as hard, but I think he'd be able to do the job just as well. But no, I think he pushed McGinn, scored a good goal. Settled the tie, and I think he's deserving of a 9. He's like I said, he gets a 9 for the push, but fundamentally, overall, he had a fantastic game, that's Fornals all over. It doesn't disappoint, does he really? So yeah,
Matt,
9 from me.
I gave him. I'm trying to see what I gave him. I gave him an 8.
harsh.
I thought.
It's easy for me to say. I'm sitting here judging you.
His creative
You always
play
do that anyway, didn't you?
wasn't up
Yeah,
there at
that's true.
times. I thought we were quite wasteful at times in the final third. But the guy gets a 7 out of 10 regardless every week, because you said the workload. And I'm sure we was looking at running stats and everyone says about Souček, but I'm pretty sure if you took Souček's running stats out of the equation, Fornals would be right up there at the top as well.
Yep.
And, even the run he made for the goal he scored, Bayern probably should have squared it, but he still kept running. Even when the shot went in, he still followed it up. Fantastic finish. Like you said, and it come off the back. It was literally off the back of that foul, wasn't it? The foul happened, and there was the big commotion, and 30 seconds later, we're down the other end, and he scored. And gave it the big one. He was loving that goal, but I gave him an 8.
I just see the thing is see for Fornals, I think he's a bit like. I think he goes under the radar a lot, if I'm being brutally honest. His work rate, like you said, Luke, is second to none. It's phenomenal. I actually think he's really key to this team. Now, this is the funny thing. Last season when I watched West Ham, he was the one that I would have always made an excuse to bring another player in for when it was the right game to play against. So I think if we came up against, let's just say for talking's sake, Chelsea or Liverpool or Man City, I always said Fornals should make way to allow another player come into that setup. However, for me, I think Fornals is one of the most important players on that park, because I think he connects the defence and the midfield and the forward line because of his work rate for tracking back and getting forward. But I also think out with that, his creativity's really kicked in again, out with the fact that he is such a... if you think about that tackle where he went in against the Aston Villa lad,
Yeah.
I was watching the Matchday live, and I think I called him a salmon, because I've never seen a guy roll and jump around.
The way he rolled about, yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was the first thing that came to my mind, because it literally looked like he was a salmon coming out of water. He was like,
you can take Grealish out of Villa, but you can't take the Villa out of Grealish. No. whatever
can't
that
take the
point.
I
Yeah,
knew
you know
where
what
you
I
were
mean.
going with that.
Yeah,
I knew where you were
Yeah,
going with it.
but
yeah.
the point I'm trying to make is that
It's late on a
Fornals
Sunday.
connects everything, and his creativity. Like, you know, I think about games where West Ham have been playing, and Vienna, Genk, whatever, Man City, and suddenly you bring Fornals on, and the game changes for the
Yeah.
better. It's not maybe just
It did.
Fornals;
It
it's
did.
Fornals, Bowen, and other players.
It did Wednesday night when I think you could tell that the players who come off they'd had enough. The most impact they were going to make on the game was done, and when he come on, he was everywhere. He was just chasing down balls, and that makes a hell of a difference, especially in the Premier League as well. You know.
Right, come on. Are we changing your mind? I'm wanting to put him as a 9 personally. Look, you want a 9.
I actually can't believe I give him a 9. I can't believe I didn't think he was that
You want to give him an 8?
impactful. No, I'm gonna because he pushed McGinn. That's what he gets
so
a
you
9
give him a
for.
9. Right.
Sod
Matt, you
the
want an 8?
goal.
I gave him an 8.
Sod the goal, mate.
There's
It's all
3 of us
about
on
the
it.
push.
If you guys want to change it to a 9, you can
Right, no.
outvote me.
You know what?
I said
I'm not-
I'll stick it to an 8. I'll stick to an 8. That's what you want. You're all miserable gits. That's fine. We'll move on from it. Don't you worry. We'll get
Miserable,
Fornals.
give him a
I've been
9.
told I'm being like, you know, we didn't play very well and I'm being too generous with it. I can't
Right,
be
listen,
giving massive high ratings.
38% of people have given him an 8. 33% of people have given him a 7. 21% of people have given him a 9. So there you go. The fan base is literally split all over the shop. Pretty much.
Can you ask how many people have given him a 9 like me for the push? I would like to see how many people have agreed with me there.
Right, let's see what people are saying, slagging us off for. Where are we?
Irish Tommy's giving him a 3.
Pat Mahoney's always his overall play was worth an 8, no more. He's had better games than today. Vinay Fornals is like Bluetooth, a connector. I like that. It's good.
Oh, that's quite snazzy.
Snotty. Howard is as long as we don't sit back, we don't have every chance. Pablo is a good 8. Love the geezer. Fornals worked his socks off from Tommy. Usual scored a goal, hugely important 8. So many comments. David Anson saying he should get a 10. Man of the match. Villa tried to beat him up today, but never shirked a challenge. Scored, created, was excellent. Love him. Yep, good shout. Absolutely, good shout. Paul Chambers gives him a 9. Mandy G, Anton let him make his own mind up. Laugh at like, yeah, no, but I'm here to challenge them. That's the whole point of me, Mandy. I have to challenge. I just want to see if I can change it, because if I can change it, then they're not secure in their option. They're not secure.
Got to challenge him. You Michael Parkinson now. Got to challenge him.
Yeah.
To challenge the guests.
Right, come on. Let's move on to Mr. the what's he call him? The Algerian wizard, Saeed bin Rama. Right, Matt, you first.
So this was the only reason, essentially, that I changed my Souček rating, because I gave Ben Rama a 7, and I actually kind of feel that 7 was probably generous. I've given him 7 for his workload, because one thing I can't deny that Moyes has changed about him is that he still puts in a shift, puts himself about. But I've said for a couple of games now that he's lost his confidence, he's lost that spark, he's lost that just something, the cutting edge in the final third. And you know what? It's something I didn't think in 2021 I'd be saying, but we actually looked better with Lanzini playing in the middle than we did with Ben Rama.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
And I've given him a 7, but I kind of feel like even that's a bit generous, and maybe he deserves a 6. I'll sit in between the two of them.
Look.
Yeah, people are gonna probably call me harsh now, but I honestly watched that game, and I thought to myself, I don't actually think we're doing the best thing with Ben Rama. I think he actually seems like the sort of player that needs to be given a free role. I think we've asked him to work hard for the team and run about and do all the hard work. I actually think he's the opposite player. I think we're actually letting him down. I think if there's a lot of comments I've read over the sort of season or so that Brentford fans have said that he's not doing the same things he's done for Brentford because he's not been given like a free role. Like I think obviously the Championship's a different league. Don't get me wrong, but he seems like he's got something in him, but he's not being allowed to express it, if you know what I mean. So when we were linked with Ben Rama, you know, all the videos you see on YouTube and stuff, he's got skill, he's got flair, he can make things happen. With us, he just seems to get the ball, run at a player, maybe not even beat them, because he's looking to make a pass before he runs past. I'm not putting him down. I think he's a very, very good player. He's a massive player in the team. I just think there's more. There's more that needs to come from him because he's capable of it, and I'm not sure. See, we've had the opposite effect with Fornals. We've actually got a better player out of him. Fornals has gone on and he's done well in that role, and he's completely changed as a player. As Ben Rama, I think it's hindered him. I think we really, put it this way, when Jesse Lingard come in, I think Moyes went to him. You got to work hard in this team. He just went, right, you're the golden boy, free roll, do what you want, scored loads of goals. I think if he said to Ben Rama the same thing, he'd become a better player. I think we're holding him back in the team. I think when you look at him, Bowen and Fornals are very similar players, but right now, I think if he was dropped from the starting lineup, people would be going, "Oh, he's been dropped," but you wouldn't think, "Oh no, shit, that's going to let the team down." Everyone would be like, "Okay, I kind of see it. Yeah, maybe someone else can come in," because at times tonight he was brilliant, but it didn't go anywhere. There's no final ball from him. There's no shot that goes in. There's no doing step overs and neat tricks. And you're thinking, yeah, this is the guy we bought from Brentford. This is the guy everyone's talking about. He's very much been moved into that hard working role. I don't think it's the best role for him. I think he needs to be given a free role where he can express himself and push on. And I'm not having to go with him. I think it's a causality of the way we play.
I think just quickly, this comment, look, from James Bong, another member of Work Your Ass Off Brigade.
Yeah,
I genuinely believe he does.
He does. I'm not saying he doesn't do that.
No, but what I think we might be seeing is another transition from Ben Rama. If you think about Pablo Fornals, I mean, Pablo Fornals has been a signing from Pellegrini, yeah. Right,
yeah.
And we probably didn't see the real best of Fornals until maybe last year.
Yeah, agree.
Last season, would you agree that as well, Matt?
Yeah, no.
So what? How many seasons is that really before we saw the best Fornals? Two or three seasons. So
yeah.
Benny, this is us into Benny's second season, and I feel like what we're seeing from Benny this season is what we saw from Fornals last season, which is you're starting to improve, but you're starting to do things that you're not used to doing, but you have to do it if you want to perform in this league. And if you want to perform in this league, in this team, you're going to have the work rate that's there. And I tell you what, Benny, there is a future for you at West Ham. And if you want to be part of this squad that could go on to do wonderful things, you're probably not going to be able to do the stuff you were used to doing at Brentford. Because currently, we're sitting in fourth place with 20 points after 10 games. And you've been vital for West Ham getting there. But when you don't do, and this is the point I was trying to make at the start, when you don't do the fancy stuff that we're used to seeing, but you do all the other hard work, it's just like, I do think that it was the right decision to start Benny tonight.
Oh yeah,
I'm not saying that I think it's the right decision to start Benny, say, the next game. But I'm not saying it's not the right decision to start him. I'm happy with what Moyes chooses to do. I think what we've got here is Ben Rama that can turn it on when he needs to, can work hard when he needs to, or will do that. Either way, what we do see is hard work rate from Ben Rama.
Yeah.
Now what we need to do is mix that and mould this player into what Moyes is looking to do. Bring the creativity with the hard work, and we'll see a side Ben Rama that even Brentford probably didn't see beforehand. But the key element here, lads, is yes, Ben Rama might not be scoring week in and week out, but already he's on 3 or 4 goals this season,
and a couple of assists.
And one of the major things that Moyes said this season is we need to spread the goals out a bit more. We can't just have 1 or 2 players score all the goals.
See,
and I tell you what's happened though over the last couple of weeks is exactly what Moyes has said. That's exactly what has happened.
Right.
Because now look, Bowen's got on the score sheet, Fornals has got on the score sheet, Declan Rice has got on a score sheet in the Premier League. I know he's got 2 Europa League goals, but you can now start to look throughout the whole team. Souček has scored, Bowen has scored, Fornals has scored, Antonio scored, Dawson scored, Diop scored, Oggy scored, Zuma scored, Johnson scored. Like, there's goals now starting to tap in throughout the whole team, and that's what.
So I know what you're getting at. I know
No,
what you're getting at.
he hasn't
I know what
scored.
you're getting at.
It was Augie, wasn't it? It was Augie.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Augie.
I'll get.
Yeah.
The only thing for me, I'd say, I'm saying about Benrahma is that if he's going to play a free role and not have this defensive responsibility, his final output needs to be better. You know, Payet didn't have to do defensive responsibility, but the guy was getting goals and assists every game. Lingard didn't have to do defensive responsibility, but he played, 15 games and scored 9 goals.
Yeah.
Benrahma doesn't look like... And the thing is, Lingard, even when he had a shot, if he didn't go in, it looked like he was causing the keeper issues.
Yeah.
A couple of times, Benrahma got into his favoured position today, where it cuts in off the left or just outside the box. Yeah. He didn't get anywhere near it.
No.
Yeah.
So if he's not going to have the attacking output, then he needs the defensive work rate.
Yeah.
Which
51% of people in the chat have given him a 7, 26% of people have given him a 6, 12% of people have given him an 8, but 51% have given him a 7. So there you go, Benny. I think you gave him a 7 as well.
Yeah, we did.
It's time to move on to the
name?
man. What?
You changed my name?
Yeah.
Someone's changed my name.
Yeah, just because people keep spelling your name wrong, so I decided to put your name in.
We are
right.
Mahusive.
No, people kept saying Luke Luke, so I thought, I'll just let them know.
So I'll change the name so how to spell it.
Okay, that's fair enough, but that's not what I did in the first place anyway. But carry on, it's fine.
No, I know it wasn't. You had We Are Mahusive in it. Yeah. I changed that. I mean, I'll change it now if you really want me to. I mean,
it's not your place.
There you go, mate. That's your own fault. See, because you drew attention to it. That's what happens, mate. Okay. So anyway, it's time to move on to the guy who is on fire. He's on fire because he's scoring goals. Right, come on then, right, Jared, go on, look.
I'll give him one. No, I'll give him a 9 for his goal and his work rate and the fact that he's hanging Danny Knight up. Let's play. Sorry, Danny with 2 N's. But yeah, it's he's mustard, and I love Bowen. I think what I like about him is that he does things that you wouldn't expect him to do. He'll be on the right hand side and he'll have a couple of players on him, and he'll somehow be like Antonio. He will somehow still come out with the ball. He's come on leaps and bounds. I always wanted him when he was at Hull, and then my dream come true. We were linked with him, and then we bought him, and then he played, and then he scored, and he's not stopped doing that since he come in. And I think what's really good about it is the fact that last season the frustrating thing was that he was taken off after 60, 70 minutes or whatever, and now he's not being taken off. He's being left on, and he's one of the most reliable players on our team. So for me, took his goal well, could miss, I know, but he just took his goal well, and he deserves all the plaudits. I think he's just as important as Rice or as Crezo is. I think he's fantastic. 9.
Go on, Matty boy.
I actually agree. I gave him a 9 as well.
I actually agree.
That's how knows.
He's another one like Rice. He just seems to get better every week. Every week he seems to add something else into his game. I think last season he got frustrated a bit that he wasn't maybe getting the goals and assists that he wanted. I think was it last year? I think maybe Bowen, there was a spell he was like in the Benrahma position where he was trying to make stuff happen, and people were saying, his final decision making is not quite up there, and he's gone on again this year. Played up front when he has to. Always got that outlet ball down the right hand side if we need it. He's one that will run, chase, make things happen. Like I said, he's got ability to just he'll be stuck on the wing with about 3 players, and somehow he'll dribble through him and come out with the ball the other side. Got 1 goal, technically got assist for a second goal. Having to shot across the keeper, which Fornal's got the tap in for. And he always causes people problems. You can't just overcommit on that side, because if you leave the space, Bowen's a player that will actually cause you issues and harm. So no, I thought we had another good game. Like he's right up there now with probably on Moyes' undroppable list.
Yep. Good shout.
You got to change that little icon by the subscribe icon, by the way, because it still says 8.46 or whatever it is.
I know.
And I looked about an hour ago, and it's gone up. We're now at 9k,
Yeah.
just over 9k. And so thanks to
Well,
everyone who subscribed.
We're nearly at 9.1, mate. We're nearly at 9.1.
Just get that changed.
This is what William
If
does.
you are
isn't it?
if you are watching right now, like Lukey Boy says, go on and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We have 2 months to get that target. I'm pretty adamant I'm going to push it. I think it's going to take us a month to get us to 10k. So I'm going to push us for 10k. Let's get there, please. While you're watching, hit the subscribe button. It's a tie in the chat. It's a tie. 42% of people gave him an 8. 42% of people gave him a 9. So there you go. Split right down the bad boy middle. Jared Bowen with a goal. Good lads. Love him. Love him to bits. And like you said, I totally agree with you. Paul Evans given him a 10. James Bong's given him an 8.5. Irish Tommy's given him an 8. Said he caused problems for Villa all game and scored a goal. Paul Chambers has given him a 9. Total Machine scored 1 hand in Fornal's goal. Pushed over McGinn. Brilliant player. Choj, totally agree. Always had Johnson's back. He's good defensively too. He is. Richard Walton, Bowen 8 if you had a decent pair of shooting boots. We said there about the chance when he got through on goal and he could have squared the ball for Fornals for the goal. However, he did hit the ball across the goal. Martinez saved it and it did fall into the feet of Fornals for the goal. But either way, though, you can't discredit Bowen for taking the chance at that because that's what you want those players to do in those positions. So there you go. Right, so let's get on to the last player who started the game, and that was Mickey Antonio. Right, go on then.
Well, that was. I'll go. He done more running today, I think, than he has done all season. I think we put a few ball throughs over the top, and he was chasing onto him. And it doesn't matter how much he comes out in a week and he's changed his diet and his lifestyle and he's having less niggles. I would always worry about those hamstrings of his that they just
goes off on a sprint. You're like,
and when I can't watch. I cringe. But I'm not at. I'm going. Just please pass it to someone else. Just slow down. And the celebration he done against Spurs, I was actually my heart was in my mouth. I was going, please.
I think you did the meme, didn't you? That went viral.
I did. Yeah, I did. I couldn't help it. It was the angle of Zuma shouting at him, and I thought to myself, I was Zuma going, get up to your knees, get up, stand up properly. He continued. I thought he was really unlucky tonight because he was getting manhandled by the Aston Villa players. My girlfriend was watching with me, and she has even said at one point, they're all over Antonio. They're just going in for him. And I think, was it for our last goal, or was it for the goal that Fornal scored, where he went up for a header with Target? Absolutely.
That was the Fornal's goal.
Yeah, it was. He gets manhandled
because he won the header and then he tried to turn and run and he just pulled him down, didn't he?
Exactly. He should have got red card. Yeah. To me, that should have been if you're calling that Bowen chance a goal scoring chance, then that leads up to a goal scoring chance. So I think he should have got a yellow card at least. But again, VAR was very picky and choosy with what he gets, which is I'm a fan of it, but it needs to improve. But he was unlucky not to score tonight a few times. I think he got in a position, but he's the man up front, and I still. Touch wood, I've got a table in front of me. Touch wood, he still stays unfit. I've never known Antonio to go this long with this much pressure on him and not to put up with an injury.
Because
he's managing,
but because he's been managed. He's been managed.
No, fantastic. But if that's the case, then long it may continue. Because at the minute, I think our treatment room must be gathering dust because the two physios on our team are just sitting there going. Normally we've got about 5 of them in here by this time of the season. Nothing now. We have to find a new job. Got to get paid for anything else. But yeah,
so we want to give Andy or Jack a ring. Maybe they can fill up the changing room for a bit.
Yeah, they have to go. One move to Arsenal, one move to Newcastle. He's fantastic. I think for me, he gets an 8 because he didn't score a goal, but he didn't do anything on either. So for me, he gets an 8. I feel a bit sorry for him today. He really got dragged around. He doesn't get as much help from officials as he should do, in my opinion. But I guess an 8 for me, definitely.
What Stato?
I gave him an 8. I thought he had, without getting a goal or an assist, he had a very atypical number 9 performance. There were some times the ball was bouncing off him, but like you said, he was getting manhandled, and there was decisions that they were getting for less than Antonio, and the ref was like, no. because he's a big guy and because he's big and bulky and muscly, it's like, you should defend yourself better. It's like, no, they've kicked the lump out of his shin again.
Yeah.
Kicked him in the ankle. Like, but he assists, if you want to call it. He said he won the flick on for the third goal. And then the fourth goal as well, he rolled, I think it was Courtney Hawes. He rolled him to lay in Lanzini, who then squared it off to Bowen. I think his hold-up play, his link-up play was actually very good today without really having a clear-cut chance himself.
I think it's a great comment, though, from Trini Hammer here. Ref gave Antonio no help at all
That's
today.
it.
True.
Completely agree. Yeah.
Managerial's given him a 7. Serif 2. He's given him an 8.5. Personally, I think he did not have a great game, but contributed when needed. Troy says he'll give Antonio an extra point at 8 just because he's so important to the way we play. He didn't win many headers, though. He got fouled a lot of the game. Yeah, he did. I think that's because he did get fouled a lot of the game, but I think he was effective when needed, and that header alone was unbelievable. He got absolutely chopped down to shreds, but he threw his body on the line to win that header that created that opportunity. And do you know what? Was that the goal to take it? Was that when Ben Ram
3-1?
Was that for 3-1?
He won the header, and Bowen ran on beyond him. Then had the shot and left one out, scored the rebound. Yeah,
I mean that was such an important part of the game, to be honest, because that's what really put the game to bed. And if it wasn't there,
he's given up carrots.
What's this?
I would never have had carrots down as something that could be bad for you.
Mozzarella, carrots, and ice cream.
Unless that's a joke,
because
mozzarella is obviously cheese, so that's a bit thingy. But carrots, I've heard they're the healthiest thing you can eat. But fair enough.
Maybe it's caramel. Maybe it's auto-corrected from like caramel or something.
Yeah, maybe that could be it. Yeah.
Paul Evans, Antonio had 2 players on him most of the game and fouled. Still quality 9. Scott Venn, crazy call. Explain how Ben Ram gave the ball away with his 89% pass completion. I don't have a clue. Antonio's play was essential today. Trosh spot on, was winding me right up. I was telling Antonio getting an 8 just confirms to me the ratings are being handed out for the final score rather than objective assessment or performances. I don't know, Tommy. I don't know. I think differently. I do think differently. What are you laughing? What's it going? Go on.
As if you go, no, so I know what you mean.
No, I do think differently though, but I think that's the whole point of these shows is because I'm trying my best to look at the game as a whole. It's a bit like.
So hold on.
I mean,
the thing is as well is that you got what you understand when you do these ratings, right? You don't just set a standard for the rating. You set a standard for the ratings for the game based on other people. Now everyone sat there and most people agreed that Benrahma deserves somewhere between a 6 and a 7. Right? That was what was. I don't know if you can still go back to see what the percentages were, but it was somewhere between a 6 and a 7. Right? So you cannot sit there and say that the performance that he had was between a 6 and a 7, and Bill Antonio was on the same level as him. So his output for what his job is. Don't forget, his job isn't actually even to score goals as a centre forward. His job is to hold the ball up and run the channels, and bring the other players into play to score the goals around him. He literally did. Right.
Does he think that scoreline flatters us a bit then? The 4-1, out of interest.
I think me and Stelz had this.
I don't know what's going on here. Who's got an agenda, Scott? Let us know. It's all gone peak tongue in the chat. What's going on
here? The thing is, me and Stel done
this.
Do you remember when we had the Leeds game?
They're all got it.
Fight.
Do you remember the Leeds game? And me and Stel were like, "Oh, we probably smash and grab this." And then Nigel come on and was like, "Look at the stats. We didn't smash grab this. We dominated everything." Like the game today, they had 9 shots, 3 on target, 3 corners in the game. We had 21 shots, 9 on target, 6 corners, and we had 58% possession away from home. Like I don't know. Apart from scoring a goal, I don't know.
Why does Crazy Cult have an agenda? Because he said that Benrahma gave the ball away. Was that why he has the agenda? I don't think he's got an agenda. I think he's just marked him. I just don't think Benny had a great game today, to be honest.
No, I said he's just lacking that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's confidence or just that he's just looking at something like that final pass, killer pass, or the goal. Or
yeah. Right, so we're giving him an 8. Let's go and see what the chat said. 44% of people gave Antonio an 8. 37% of people gave him a 7. 11% of people gave him a 9. I think you lads are pretty harsh.
We're sat in the middle
Antonio.
Between the 3 ratings. Like,
no, but I think you're harsh. I think you're harsh for that header alone. No, I'm only joking. No, I think 8's pretty fair, to be honest. I think 8's pretty fair. Right, let's move on to 2 subs, wasn't it? We'll do these ones quickly.
3 subs. There
Three
was
subs,
one
who was
we
the third?
one we can rate, one that's not even worth rating.
Yeah, right. So let's do Lanzini. What do you think of Lanzini then, lads?
Very. I'll go, shall I?
Yeah, go on.
He's. Oh, you go first then, Matt. Go on.
No, go on.
Go
You're
on,
right,
go
mate.
on, go on,
Yeah,
go
go
on.
on.
Before you, sir. You go, sir. You go, sir. No worries. He's. I want Lanzini to make it because I still love him. I think he's a fantastic player for us. I think if he has a role more in the midfield, like I see, he seems to sort of have a little bit on the wing than a bit in the midfield. It'll do better for him. But I think his assist, he's just he seems like he might start to get back to his best. He done a good assist, good ball through for the goal. When he come on, he didn't do anything wrong. I think he won a few tackles even in there by running around. So he's becoming an asset again for us. And I think if we can just look after him a bit more, then perhaps we can have a player on the hands that we used to, and we all thought he was going to be. So maybe not to that level anymore, but he done his job when he's come on, and he got an assist. So for me, solid 8.
Vinny's giving him a 9. Matt,
Mhm.
Vinny's giving him a 9. For me, Benny was Long Dark Tunnels giving him a 7.5. Scott Venn's giving him a 7. Lanzini's giving him a 9. Controlled the game when he came on. Richard Walton gave him a 10. Howard Ailes giving him an 8. Paul Evans gives him a 9. Scott Venn's giving him a 10. George is saying 8. Crazy Cole's giving him an 8. Matt?
I gave him an 8. I think there was two. You could almost break. He only played 25 minutes, but you could break his 25 minutes almost down to 2 halves.
Yeah.
Because when he first came on, they shoved him out like he was mixing with Fornals out on the wing at times, and he was cropping up in weird positions. I was like, he doesn't need to be there. And then once he dropped into the middle and just sat in the middle as like a proper number 10, he started dictating the play more, and the quality of players around him does make a difference. I think we said that in the cup game at Man City, that when the other 3 came on off the bench, all of a sudden his play went up. I said, you know what, his passing ability at the moment in the final third, he's probably better than Ben Rama's. Ben Rama probably still starts because Lanzini probably can't do the workload that Ben Rama puts in. We're part of that the workload club. Everyone runs into the ground. I don't think Lanzini can do that. But you could see, and like the goal, his assist, when he got to that ball, when Antonio laid that ball off to him in the box, the only thing I was expecting was him to shoot. Like, I didn't think there was anything else to do. And he just was like, nope. Just rolled it across for the tap-in.
Yeah.
A lot of players in that position, I'll not be funny. If it was the other way around, I don't think Bowen's passing. Like, Bowen's probably shooting there. Whereas Lanzini's just gone, I've seen the pass. It's an easy one. Off you go. There is a player in there. There's still a player there. And if you want to play with a proper number 10 and 2 wingers that don't switch around as much, Lanzini could definitely work in that position.
Yeah, I think he's definitely come on leaps and bounds, and he definitely works better when he's around creativity. And how unselfish was he for the opportunity as well at the end? He could have carried on and tried to score, and I think that's what we see with Lanzini. I think what you've probably got with Lanzini and Benny is a little bit like they share that position now. Benny can do the first 60, 70 minutes of hard work rate, and you bring what's his chops on to come on and do what he needs to do. Lanzini at the end of the park. Lanzini was just trying to keep warm. David Anston says 8 for a Lanzini. Selfish unassist, ideal sub performance. Right, who was the next sub we need to talk about?
Right, you had Sufal and Vlasic that came on together at like the 90th minute or something.
Well, let's just quickly rate them. Then we just give them a all round.
I gave them. What did I think they get a 6.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's probably not worth rating them, so we'll just move on from them. Let's go mate the manager, David Moyes. Go on then, Luke.
The Moyes sire, for me, gets a 10.
Oh, he's giving him a 10! Woo!
I love him. I've got man love for the guy. He has completely changed things around, and he continues to manage the club is an example of how to manage a football club with no money and with very little resources at the end of his, to his name. And I think it's funny now because there's a lot of plaudits coming out for saying that if he'd never had the Man United job, he would be now wanted by Man United to take the job, which I think it screams vocal about what people think about him now. But it's like I said to everyone, I said to people at work myself, I said, look, he's even admitted himself that when he lost the sausage dad job and he was a bit, didn't pitfall for, he was wasted, didn't have much going for him, anything like that. He went along to work for UEFA and he changed his complete mindset. He recoached himself and he come out of it a completely different guy. And we've got the benefits of that now. I don't want to give the board praise, but I'm probably going to have to because they brought him in at the end of the day. I think they've got a bit lucky because he's come back and he's been a completely different manager to what everyone else would think he is. But, I used to sort of put him down and criticise him last season when he used to bring players off like Bowen. I thought we were having fantastic games. And now he's... I'm not going to hear him laughing. I'm trying to make a good point.
Don't laugh at your name.
I'm going now. that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, here he is. The man of the moment.
Hey, Messiah. Yeah.
Boy.
Oh, no,
So-
match of the day. That's why we've lost about 50 or 60 viewers in the last 10 minutes.
Everyone's dropped off to watch match of the day. Yeah,
Oh,
fair
That's
enough.
what it is. Yeah.
Oh, we should have told them that now because they're all going to jump off again now.
Bye everyone.
That's over now.
Cheers.
It's finished.
Cheers for tuning. I've got nothing against him. I think he's a diamond. He's an absolute geezer. He's God.
He's a diamond geezer, mate.
He's a god. He's everything rolled into one. I think I can't fault him. He's just fantastic. And today 4-1 is his reward for how he managed the club. So
Maddie G's giving him a 10. Long Dark Tunnel's giving him an 8. Crazy Cobb's giving him a 10. Trosh 10. GP 10. Nevin, Pierce, Nolan 10. Paul Evans 10. The togetherness of this team is unbelievable at the moment. Really proud of the whole team. Well done, lads. 100,000,000%. Giving Moyes 10 out of 10 because he put the right team out and brought Manu on, who made a difference, got everything right, so can't fault him. James Bong says Moyes is same old, average 10. Ghost Pepper Hot Moyes 9. Has to be a 10. Coaching staff 10. Moyes 10. Moyes only 7. Starting Ben Ramsden and Lanzino, even Vlasic 10. That Richard Walton. You need to calm your beans, son. Right. Where's that comment gone? Oh my god. Why is it not showing up yet? Oh god, no. Where is it? Oh no, it's too late. What?
where?
Oh, I need to click show. How come
What was
that
it?
doesn't? I don't know if I want to say it out loud. It doesn't come up when you have to review it. I didn't know you could do that. Pat, that was hilarious, mate. That was hilarious. I'll let you
What
all.
did he say?
You just
Get
said
retyping. Type it back in
would-
again.
I would let Moyes change my wife.
Okay.
I just clocked it at the corner of my eye. I was like,
He's-
"Ooh, interesting."
He's a new Christian Daily, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, mate. He is. Last but not least, fans. I'm not doing
Oh.
that. 10 out of 10.
Midlands.
Right, it's
20 out of
Yeah.
10 for the
20 out of
all
10.
travel problems.
Up,
Yeah.
up
20
the
out of 10.
Midlands, Sunday afternoon kick-off.
No trains.
All you
Trains are
could hear,
knackered.
for the whole game as well, like normal. Just fantastic. Claret Blue Army. Just Cockney boys, brilliant.
Right, come on then. Let's talk about the ref before we go.
He didn't have an awful game, but he didn't help himself to do himself any favours. I think he sent off the wrong player. For me, I think House should have got. There's me saying not an awful game. He sent off the wrong player.
You're right. Up until, for the first, was it 50 minutes?
Mm,
He had a good game.
mm,
He sent off the wrong player,
mm.
which between him and the VAR team. And then after that, we didn't get like a single decision for the rest of the game.
I mean,
It's like because they were down to 10 men, he was giving them absolutely everything.
Mm.
But then we were getting the same sort of fouls. He was just like, "No, it's fine, play on." I remember we made a joke at one point, and because Souček just like sat on the floor protesting, it was like, "He's just come through the back of me again, and you've given nothing again." But 3 minutes earlier, like Bowen puts his arm on someone's shoulder, and the guy just went down, and he's like, "That's a foul."
I think to a level, we're saying that he sent off the wrong player. He probably should have sent off both players, because if you're going to send off that player for a red card, that's got to be a double red card. Because
I still don't think like that. This is if buts maybe saying it after when we've won. I don't think it was a goal scoring opportunity. I think because he's got to take a touch to come in on his left foot to shoot. If he shoots that position on his right foot, he's not going to score.
No,
he has to go on his left foot. And by the time he gets on his left foot, as they were showing on Sky after the game, I don't know who was on the cover round. It might have been Ashley Young. And by the time Bowen's got on his left foot, Young would have been there. So it wouldn't have been like a clear goal scoring opportunity. It would have been a chance. Whereas the elbow is literally like, you probably see that on the Octagon last night for the UFC.
Exactly.
Or on Sky Sports tonight on the in the NFL. Like that was literally whack. You're not getting past me.
My mate's at 4-0 got back up.
It's like after he made that decision, yes, he got the wrong one, and of course Dean Smith using that as an excuse. And it's like, well, mate, you still got one. You still should have had 1 sent off.
Yeah.
In actual fact, the ref's done you a favour because of red for being the last man's only a 1-game ban, whereas you should have had the other centre back off for 3 games for violent conduct. So
yeah, exactly.
But after that, he just lost control of the game. Like he did manage the situation with Pablo Fornal as well. Because Nakamba was doing his best, as Ant said, salmon impression to try and get Fornal sent off, and it was like, and like West Ham players got involved, they got involved. He gave a couple of bookings, and that sort of ended it because we scored after that, and that basically killed the game off.
Yeah.
But there was a spell between when we scored in like the 80th minute and after he gave the red in the 50th minute, but we didn't get a single decision. He gave everything to Villa to try and balance the game out because he correctly gave a red, but in the wrong situation. He can have a 4.
I mean, you make valid points there. Before we head, I'm gonna read you off some stats that people didn't know about. We didn't talk about Ben Johnson's game stats today: 100% tackle success rate, 68 touches, 8 tackles made, 6 ball recoveries, 4 interceptions, 2 clearances, 1 goal, no fouls, no.
Told you, mate. Bailey got nothing out of him. Nothing.
Only 4 teams have earned 20 plus points, like I said, after 10 Premier League games this season. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, and West Ham. West Ham. Beautiful, isn't it? Only 4 teams have scored 20 plus goals in the Premier League this season. Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, and West Ham. So there you go. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us on the Matchday Player Rating Show. If you are new around here, please make sure you go and hit that subscribe button. Please hit the thumbs up. That would be massively appreciated. And of course, leave a comment as well. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so please make sure
we got to get there before Christmas, just so we can shove it in Stell's face. He said we couldn't do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is he saying we couldn't do it?
Because he's just negative, mate. He's got a negative Nancy.
I swear he's the most.
He's probably
to do well.
Yeah. Yeah.
If any show ain't worth it.
Or any West Ham players.
Yeah. Any West Ham player.
So listen, thank you for joining us. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Please stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Is Monday. Yeah, tomorrow's Monday.
Weekly.
We've got coming up. We've got Genk. Yeah, there'll be a weekly tomorrow night. There'll be a lunchtime live. We've got a preview Wednesday for Genk. We'll do a Matchday live for the Genk game on Thursday as well. So look, if you're about, let us know, mate.
Yeah, I'm on nights this week, but I'll let you know when I'm available.
Cool. All right. Listen, stay safe, everyone. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that malarkey. And yeah, come on, you Irons. 4th.